is imminent in the Florida Derby. Inter Miami and Orlando City matching up for the first time this season. They'll meet again in Orlando on May the 15th. And Messi is on Fox. He won the World Cup in Qatar on Fox. He's going to try and win the Copa America again this summer on Fox. And now in Major League Soccer, another star turn for the greatest star perhaps of all. Underway in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami taking on Orlando City. Orlando coming off 2 Champions Cup wins, advancing past Cavalry, the Canadian Premier League. They opened the regular season in MLS with a draw against Montreal. And Inter Miami will start their Champions Cup run as the league's cup winner a round later in the round of 16 this week against Nashville. 2 games already in the books for them. A win against RSL 2-0. A draw at LA on Sunday night.
Mike, early in this one, one thing I always look at when a team comes off a midweek, has to go on the road. Now, I know it's not a long distance to travel from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale, but how you approach the pressure. It looks like here, Oscar Pereira in the first couple games.
Well, what a start for Miami, firing down the line. Taylor sees it pushed away by Thorhaldsen.
In the first couple of games for Orlando and Oscar Pereira, he was really putting his foot on the pedal early on. Here they drop off the midfield as a foul's called to relieve the pressure a little bit. So it's always interesting to see how you want to manage the minutes. This is a good ball played through here. Taylor looks like he gets around the corner, but also good timing on the slide tackle. Anytime a defender goes down in the box, you got to make sure you get it right. He certainly did there, but a good start from Inter Miami with a through ball. Maybe some ideas of something to come to get behind Thorhaldsen.
Ziggy McGuire, Miami take possession. When we talked to Oscar Pereira this week, the Orlando manager said, we can't be desperate. We aren't going to have the ball all that much today. And yet this is arguably the group that caused Miami the biggest trouble in the League's Cup last year. Ball caroms over to Gressel. That's a second Gomez foul.
Battle in the midfield is going to be really interesting. Diego Gomez on one side and Araujo on the other with Cartagena. A bunch of young players that really love to get into tackles.
Tata Martino didn't gloss over it, said there's a certain style you anticipate. He remembered it well from the old Atlanta and Dallas affairs that he had with Oscar Pereira. Certainly carried over. Gomez overtaken, but it does find Suarez. Bumped off by Janssen. Still it's on for Miami. Hung toward Messi. Up by Santos.
Suarez went down holding his knee after, and there he is coming into your picture, a clear limp.
That's a 3rd foul on Gomez. Infringement early, persistent. There's the bump on Suarez.
Yeah, and he grabbed his knee here. Started with a limp, but again, there's that battle already between Gomez and Araujo in the midfield, and I imagine that will continue.
Messi. Gressel across Suarez! His first goal for Inter Miami against their biggest rival. 4 minutes in, Miami leads.
Well, Mike, we couldn't even establish the fact that you cannot give the ball away through build-up if you're Orlando City. 4 minutes into this one, a costly error. And the one guy you don't want it to land on his feet, of course, is Lionel Messi. Here's the turnover in the back. Suarez, a deflection, goes right to Lionel Messi, and when he's running at you, he draws defenders. Suarez finds an inch of space, and that's not an easy finish as he's in front of this first post. So much easier when you're in the middle of the frame. Look at the spot he takes, and Galesi's going one way, thinking that this ball's going to get across the goal as his feet are going to the right. Luis Suarez buries it at that near post. There's his introduction to the score sheet for Inter Miami.
Now 558 career goals. The assist from Gressel, and Inter Miami are off and running. Now the good news for Orlando, this is the 7th time these teams have met in this venue, and none of them finished without both teams on the score sheet. So in theory, Orlando will have their moment.
They've got to be a little bit cleaner with the ball in the back. We saw CF Montreal a week ago give them some trouble in the first half with the press.
Ojeda.
And there really wasn't a lot in that press. That was a ball trying to be played backwards. It hits off of Luis Suarez, and then when it turns over and it gets to Messi's feet, you saw immediately as he starts to dribble at the back four, the conversion of purple jerseys, and all of a sudden now everything opens up. Gressel's open. Suarez kind of hangs out in that space.
Ojeda, that's beyond Maguire. Clearance from Jordi Alba. Still Orlando. Janssen. Just enough to flick it through, only to see Miami siphon it off briefly. Santos, there's Yedlin. Ojeda got a piece. Ojeda laying off. Mundo Torres sits up for Thorhaldsen. Thorhaldsen, Maguire. Maguire had a massive campaign last year, and now he's got a little competition in the team.
Yeah, we'll talk about Luis Muriel coming in here, but Maguire with 13 goals, 3 assists. But again, this is about a turnover. Keep your eye on Thomas Aviles, the young Argentinian in the back for Inter Miami. I thought he really struggled out of the back in the last match in LA. He turns the ball over there. Facu Torres able to get in the box and dribble at this defense. A couple of early turnovers on both sides.
And they made a change in that center back pairing from the opening week of the season as well. Frede coming off a left quad pull in preseason, goes from the start today. Araujo. Second effort to slip that through. Aviles was up for it. This is a laser beam. It's headed to the tunnel.
A little bit sloppy again from Inter Miami building out here. Araujo is on the backside. This is the turnover. Cartagena with a good slide tackle. Araujo continues his run. It's sloppy here. Busquets tries to clear it, and this doesn't miss by much. Gets through the middle of this one. Alba turning his back. Not quite sure Callender would have gotten to that one.
He hasn't scored a lot of goals in his Orlando City career, but the ones he's scored, pretty significant.
We saw in the open, this guy here, Wilder Cartagena, he can also hit it from distance as well. Good challenge here for Orlando City on the road. It's the massive rival in a derby match. You go down early. How do they manage things? A little higher pressure right now than we saw in the first couple of minutes. I don't think you change anything, Mike, when you give up early goals, because you really haven't gotten into your rhythm. You haven't gotten into all of the things you worked on throughout the week. But they haven't had a lot of time. Remember, this is the team, Orlando City, that's played the midweek match. Inter Miami, if any team needed a rest, it was them.
Yeah, I don't think Miami's crying any tears for any team that says they traveled a lot. Orlando had to go to Vancouver Island and back. Long trip by any standard, but stayed on this side of the planet. Unlike Inter Miami, who had a massive globe-trotting exhibition preseason. Cartagena, there's Angulo. Yedlin. Bump on Messi. Working the interchange with Busquets, picked off by Angulo. Yedlin slides in.
Well, it's high energy in this one, but it's been sloppy from both sides. Especially in that first third of the field, just trying to build out. Busquets with that last giveaway.
doesn't feel like either team. It felt like they've put together a really good first half yet when we spoke to the managers. And if you're talking about Orlando, they described trying to have just a little more patience on the offensive end. We also want to get this Miami team a little bit out of sorts as quickly as you can, get them off that rhythm.
I thought the opener for Inter Miami against RSL, that first half, there were moments where you was very, and I'm not comparing teams, but just in theory, very Barcelona-esque with the way they were trying to play, with Messi coming in and playing wall passes with Luis Suarez.
Suarez, Cartagena couldn't take it away, through for Suarez. Now Suarez a brace! 10 minutes gone! He opened his account and now he's surely endeared himself in Miami.
Well, one thing that was never in question was Luis Suarez's movement when he got into the box. And we have now seen 2 instances where you think there's no space. Luis Suarez, one of the great goal scorers of our generation, finds an inch of space. On the first goal, it was at that near post and in between defenders. Now he checks back. You think he's out of the play. He's looking for a ball here, gets it back. He and Gressel, little gratuitous bounce. Araujo doesn't follow him. You see here, he gets close to Suarez. And Suarez just continues. Here's Araujo here, and he continues. And Suarez, don't give him this chance again because he's going to bury it. Doesn't take much. Suarez puts Inter Miami up 2-0.
And Julian Gressel assisting on both goals.
Wow, what a start here from Inter Miami. Couldn't have gotten any better at home for Tata Martino's side, and it couldn't have gone any worse for Oscar Pareja.
And we haven't really said Messi's name all that much either. If you're Orlando, is it as simple as we need to clean this up now? Or is there something deeper?
Well, there's no doubt they need to clean up. 2 plays now, you could have made clearances, you could have made better plays, and this is not the team that you want to gift anything to. Because what it allows them to do now is sit back. Look, they're 50 yards from goal, 45 yards from goal until they get the ball, and then they go on the attack. And so it's going to be tough to break them down because they'll stay in this low block.
Running inside Ojeda. Ball clipped further by Taylor, but over the line.
The one advantage for Inter Miami when they go up is they don't have to stretch themselves. They don't have to go press the game. They don't have to run around and use the legs. And we know this team's getting a little bit older, if you will, in some areas of the field. So the more you can save energy, the better off they are. We did see in that opening match in Miami at Shea Stadium, RSL in that second half, they ran at Inter Miami. Right, and I think if you make them stretch a little bit, that's where you can beat them. But look, they'll sit at midfield here and just kind of just guide the ball one side to the other. Lionel Messi doing a little work here. So this is going to be really difficult for Orlando City to break down. The lower they get and the lower those 2 blocks, the defenders and the midfielders are.
This is an Orlando team who had 4 consecutive clean sheets on the road for the first time in their MLS history. They concede twice in the opening 10 minutes and 10 seconds. This goalkeeper, that's got to be a pretty good feeling. Trent Callender made a huge penalty save against Ricky Pooch.
That was a really good save. I mean, really, that's a massive save. Going down, and the wave went over the bar. He got enough on it. See some higher pressure for Orlando City, but that was it. Comes again. When I look at goalkeepers, Mike, I don't look at numbers as much as I look at moments, right? Oscar Pereira, we talked about Gallese. He's gotten moments out of him. Drake Callender, the one thing he's given Inter Miami, because you know at some point they're going to get stretched because I look at moments, right? Oscar Pereira, we talked about Gallese. He's gotten moments out of him. Drake Callender, the one thing he's given Inter Miami, because you know at some point they're going to get stretched because Inter Miami's not here to be a defensive team. They're here to score goals, right? So you need your goalkeeper to be sharp. He did that last year and had a great campaign. Can he follow it up again? But but now you think from Oscar Pereira's side, yeah, I said at 1-0 you don't change a lot. At 2-0, it's still only 15 minutes in. Have you gotten into your rhythm? Have you done the things that you've wanted to do? Pressed in certain areas, attacked certain areas? I don't think they've gotten into that yet, so I don't know if you change anything. But when the ball turns over here, transition defending is going to be vitally important, especially now with Inter Miami sitting back a little deeper.
Providing a measure of pressure now. Galese. Flicked on to Angulo. Ojeda, who draws the start. Seeking Angulo. Instead out to Busquets. Messi the push. Jaime Herrera is the referee in this game. The match official was changed this morning due to a potential conflict with the initially appointed official, according to a statement from Pro to The Athletic. This in the midst of the lockout. PSRA entering now its third week. Going back to February 17th. Angulo.
This is a player they're really high on in Inter Miami. Comes in as a U22 initiative player, only 23 years old. Has had his moments, good reader of the game, but has had some moments building out of the back. We'll see if he can clean that up tonight.
Gomez continues unimpeded. Saw Suarez streaking ahead. Araujo. And now Cartagena. Now, of course, gets Frede alongside him. Kritzhoff available off the bench for Tata Martino in this game. Appointed on July the 10th. Unbeaten against Orlando in MLS. 4 wins, 3 draws, mostly coming in Atlanta. Suarez allows it through Santos.
You mentioned Frede a little bit ago. He's the loanee from Pumas. And I think if Tata Martino has him available, this is the first night he's been available, he will be the right center back for this side. He's a depth piece, but I think he's probably going to start a little bit more with Kristoff now going to the bench. I think defensively here for Inter Miami throughout the year, you know you're going to be under pressure. You know this team is built to go forward. You know they like to throw numbers forward. You've got to do some work for Messi. You've got to do some work for Luis Suarez. You got to get in and around Busquets because he doesn't cover as much ground, although he's so smart in reading the game. But guys like Gressel, Diego Gomez, they're going to put a lot of miles on.
Angulo. Ball tapped ahead toward Maguire. Now Torres couldn't combine. It is, however, a corner.
You see some discussion here between this back four and how to organize the midfield, which led to Facundo Torres getting down to the end line here with Frede making his first intervention for Inter Miami.
Lions support traveling well. Header snapped wide. The service from Ojeda.
Mention Ojeda, maybe the surprise starter in this lineup today with Nico Lodeiro going to the bench.
And then Brecalo stepped out. Rodrigo Schlegel back in. He was out due to a suspension that carried over from last season.
Two similar profiles, though, of center backs. Two guys that are aggressive. They like to step into the midfield. I think Brecalo maybe covers a little bit more ground. you got a guy like Robin Janssen next to you, had such a great year last year, you can expect that other center back to maybe be a little bit more adventurous, be the guy that steps up into the backside of some of the attacking players.
Araujo. Hit the switch, Santos. Cartagena. Angulo, Ojeda. Front post run. Driven out. Aviles there again. They put him under pressure from the opener.
Yeah, really good movement here from Orlando City, in, back, and through. Find some space, play a ball through, make defenders run towards their end line. Aviles cleans that one up. Pretty good play. I think more the rhythm that Oscar Pereira's side wants to have.
Ojeda once more, struck over the bar. Facundo Torres. Well, Inter Miami off to quite the start. They scored 2 goals in the opening 11 minutes. Suarez in the 4th from Gressel. Suarez in the 11th from Gressel.
And Mike, it's probably a big picture play here, but the more points Inter Miami picks up at the beginning of the season, the more they can rest players. And I think that's going to be the most important mission for Tata Martino this year. How does he keep this team fresh? It's not a deep squad. There's not a lot of numbers, not a lot of experience. You have a lot of young players. They will get Kramaski back here in a little bit. He has been training, which will be an important piece to the puzzle. But the more points you pick up on those nights where you say, oh, should I rest Luis Suarez tonight? It's so much easier to rest him when you've got points in the bag.
And of course, the Copa America comes over the summer. A number of players likely to be involved in international duty throughout the season. And you've got the congestion that comes with the fact that Miami's never shied away from the fact they desperately wanted to be in CONCACAF Champions Cup. It was that way. Phil Neville is the manager as well. We've got this extraordinarily deep Orlando team by comparison. Aviles. PT, Barco, Almiron, some of the young stars, Steinings in Atlanta under Tata Martino's tutelage. He's in good hands. Speaking of good hands, at the feet of Galese.
It doesn't get easy here for Inter Miami, nor does it get easy for Orlando City. They come off a midweek. They've not got to play Tuesday against Tigres, where Inter Miami plays Thursday at Nashville. But over the next 2 weeks, both of these teams will play 4 matches.
Ojeda seeking McGuire. Calendar came off his line. Maybe got a fingertip to that.
Yeah, did just enough there to throw off McGuire. Good ball in there by Ojeda.
Thorholtson.
Miami's really deep here.
Cartagena working through McGuire. Thorholtson. Cartagena. Messi got a piece. Messi's gone.
It's amazing when you get in tight spaces.
Huge ball lobbed over the top. Taylor's beneath it. The finish forward through Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba hanging for Messi. Settles, got end line. Ran out of room.
It's amazing. As he slows down, you wonder what's the calculations that are going through his head. The closer, he kind of sets you up. You're waiting. He slows down because he's not going to sprint by you. And all of a sudden, he sprints by you. Ball turns over, and he's the one that turned this thing over. And it's a little touch around Rafael, and then Cartagena comes over and a little touch inside. And let me take this one down with the outside of my foot. We've seen it for years and years now. He's just kind of setting things up. just wish you could be a fly on the wall in his brain, huh? With the way the things that he's thinking.
It's kind of the meme with the math equations and a pensive look. Santos. Yedlin intervenes.
One thing that Orlando City's having success is getting Rafael Santos higher up the field here, which now pins DeAndre Yedlin back a little bit further. On the other side, we haven't seen a lot of Jordi Alba get forward, so the possession is starting to get better for Orlando City. The more you can pin those players back, but again, it's going to be about transition defending. When the ball turns over, how quickly can you break it up? So that part of the field, I think Oscar Pereira will feel good about.
Messi. Frede. It's part of the Pumas side to reach the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. Fell to Seattle in 2022. Suarez in the 4th and the 11th. Both shots led to goals for Miami. His first 2 goals, the South Florida club. And being tasked with defending now. How about Messi getting forward? Messi! He finally denied by Janssen.
That's a good step in from Janssen. Just kind of, you're seeing Busquets, Suarez, and Messi run at you. The timing had to be right. He gets it perfectly off the feet of Lionel Messi. But again, that transition defending, when the ball turns over, it's slow. They sit back, ball turns over, and it's just, it's not 1 gear, it's not 2 gears, it's 3 gears, higher with speed. And then on the other side of things, when that happens 3 or 4 times in the match, now you start to, you become a little bit more cautious with the chances you take getting forward. And that plays into the hands of Inter Miami. Look at all of this space to run into.
Taylor, and now Jordi Alba. Seeking Messi, Cartagena. Messi grinding through, play on. Gomez, pitchforks for Messi. Header away, Jordi Alba continues. Over Orlando City's vehement disagreement. Busquets. Gomez, outstanding in CONMEBOL Olympic qualifying. Golden Boot winner of that tournament.
Yeah, he was really good, and I think really important for him to get off the mark against RSL in that opener. You're a young player, you come into this side, and you're playing with the likes of Busquets in back of you, kind of just pulling the strings behind you. You've got Messi and Suarez. You're trying to make guys happy. It's always nice to get on the score sheet, especially with those 2 involved in the play. Now they have confidence in you, and they'll start to look for you.
Well, that confidence is flowing now. Miami trying to start 3 unbeaten in the league for the first time in the Herons' 5th season. In by Busquets, and there's Gressel. Slips it ahead, Suarez leans over, the net is empty, and Inter Miami has their 3rd. Robert Taylor seals the deal. Inter Miami running away with it inside 30 minutes.
Well, we've seen it for years. Luis Suarez just walking the line, walking that back 4 line, waiting for a little bit of space to run into. Orlando City gets stretched, and you'll see here Janssen is higher up the field than Schlegel is, in the requirement for the offside center back, the backside center back, is to stay even with Janssen. Watch here as this goes through. You'll see Schlegel a little bit deeper. It's not in your screen yet, but you'll see him here just a little bit deeper trying to get up, and Luis Suarez, don't give him that time and don't give him that space because he understands how to time the run. He is onside there. That's where they'll look at. Looks onside there. Ball was played square, but this for me is on Schlegel. Being a yard behind Janssen in that back four when he needs to be in line. Rule number one as a center back, when your opposite center back is looking towards the sideline, he needs to understand that you are not keeping players onside. And in this case, Schlegel did. Luis Suarez makes the decisive run. And a pretty easy finish there for Robert Taylor.
29th minute, his second goal this season. Scored in the 39th minute, the first goal for Miami this year against RSL. You and I thought this match could go a lot of different ways. I don't think either of us predicted this.
This was not the way. You're absolutely right that I thought this would go. But when you're playing with great players, I understand Luis Suarez doesn't move maybe as quickly as he has in the past. But you can't give him opportunities like that to run in behind your back four and keep him on.
Suarez seemed to be moving fine right there. Consternation dissipates.
You know, Messi having some words with Schlegel there, not even looking at the play. But again, Mike, it's about fine margins. Luis Suarez understanding where Schlegel was. He's the guy that's marking him, reading where Janssen steps up, and Schlegel doesn't. And it's that easy for great players.
Orlando seeking over the top. That's Torres chasing, takes the number 10 shirt this year, the Kaká and Mauricio Pereira had previously worn. That's a good lineage to follow. From Thorhaldsen.
One thing you don't want as an opponent of Inter Miami is for them to start having fun, right? Where it doesn't become work. Right? It doesn't feel like when you have the ball, you're working all that hard. I kind of feel like we're teetering on that right now.
This is a Miami team, 24th in the league in expected goals conceded over the first couple of games. Now, it's such a small sample size, but it matches the eye test. Plenty of chances for Real Salt Lake and LA Galaxy. It's far from done and dusted for Orlando. Messi.
Just turning out of pressure, drawing a foul here. And I would imagine for Oscar Perez, Janssen picks up the yellow card here. That part of this was, let's stay in this game because we've seen in second halves of matches here that maybe they run out of gas a little bit, but it's not staying in at a 3-0 down.
Cartagena shown yellow.
Cartagena was with the one with the foul, but the referee flashed the card at Robin Janssen, maybe for something he said.
Now, if you're Orlando, you've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league. And in this hemisphere, he's thinking what right now?
First thing, when Messi's on the ball, is he going to shoot, right? Because we've seen Messi shoot from all distances.
You think they were having fun before? Messi! Kalese watches this run wide. So about that.
Wow. From that distance. It's just hit the post here. Or just goes, it hits the post. Yeah, this place would, they don't have a roof, but they'd have still blown the roof off of this place.
Galese did a pretty good job shuffling over.
He got over.
He knew.
Pretty good.
Ojeda continues with Yedlin behind him. Torres going back to the halfway line. There's Schlegel. And Angulo starts something off of that right-hand side. Angulo slithers away a second time from Gomez. Santos. Unfamiliar territory for Orlando City. To find that first goal back. Held in by Torres. Santos, second year with the club, the Brazilian outside back.
Look how deep Inter Miami is right now. Those two blocks, 4 and the 3. Luis Suarez is right at the center circle. Messi just kind of guiding things to one side. No answers right now for Robin Jansen, just kind of looking around. It's a tough ball over the top that's going to run out here. When you got a center back playing a ball over the top to an outside left back, it means you don't have any options. We're looking at Leo Campana here, who becomes really important for me, Mike, in this mix for Inter Miami. Because you know Luis Suarez can't give you 90 minutes game in and game out. And this is a guy who can score goals. So the more minutes he can give you, the more production he can give you, the more successful this Inter Miami side is going to be.
20 goals over the last 2 seasons in MLS, rising 52 games. Imagine a good chance we'll see him in the second half.
And at the moment, whatever the plan really was, it's expedited a little bit quicker to get him in the match.
The good news for Miami is the draw you got in the Champions Cup really beneficial. You get an MLS team at the jump. Nashville. Some of the venues in Central America can be hit and miss.
And you minimize the travel as well, right? You're really not going all that far.
If you're playing CONCACAF Champions Cup but it's against an MLS team, is Messi and some of these debutants for Champions Cup really getting the full taste of CONCACAF?
No, they're not. That doesn't mean they don't want to win, right? They've made a point that they wanted to be in this thing and they want to win it. And you can completely understand. But no, it's not until you go down to Cuscatlan and you play there, like you're really not getting the full flavor, I don't think.
No, there's a whole fever that's attained by true appreciation of CONCA champions. Matches Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on the Fox Sports family of networks. As the round of 16 kicks off, that'll be Miami's debut in the tournament. Columbus as well. Orlando getting by Cavalry 6-1 on aggregate, and got a total screamer from Ramiro Enrique in the second leg of that in Orlando midweek. Flicked ahead, Ojeda. Torres chasing. Still at Santos. Cartagena.
Inter Miami will be happy with this pace right now. It's the ball that, look how many defenders are facing forward. They're just looking at the ball. Leave Messi, leave Suarez, everyone else doing work behind the ball. They'll be okay here. Ball getting dropped back, going side to side. The clock just keeps ticking. They're not expending a lot of energy. It's turned over far too easy from Orlando City.
Opens the door for Messi to lead Julian Gressel. Assisted 2 goals already in this game. The opening 2 from Suarez. 3rd from Robert Taylor in the 29th.
I don't think he could have written a better script here for Inter Miami and Tata Martino's side. Not only the goals, but just this rhythm.
You got the feeling that they were well aware of the meaning of this match. Sometimes this early in the season it can get lost in translation. It certainly wasn't.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Tata Martino had this side prepared, and you give up that early goal, but you're seeing this is 3 or 4 times now. You've seen Lionel Messi press. This time he commits a foul.
Everyone's speaking to how motivated he is, and what a big year this could be for him. Copa America being played here. The final is just 20 miles away from this venue down in Miami Gardens.
You know, it's kind of, when I think about that statement, as another foul here from Facundo Torres about motivation. How do you win 8 Ballon d'Ors if you're not motivated, right? Like, I don't know that motivation ever leaves you, right? Lionel Messi's born with this, and I don't know that it just goes away. I get it. He's, what, 36 years old. I completely understand, but I don't think motivation is ever going to be a factor with him.
And came in and put his stamp right on the Leagues Cup.
Yeah.
Helped Miami to their first trophy right out the gate last year. 14 games, 11 goals, all competitions.
You know, thinking about having success at Barcelona, having success at PSG, winning the World Cup, winning Copa America with the national team. This is not the place that Lionel Messi wants to fail at, right? At Inter Miami. And they've put pieces around him that can do a lot of the heavy lifting with regards to a workload. And just, you know, I say it all the time, you got piano players and piano carriers. You know, this guy, Messi's a little bit different. He takes the piano into your house and then he plays it for you as well. Like, he does everything. You know, but that's how this team has been built, and Chris Henderson's done a really good job. There's still some work to do in this one. They certainly don't want to give up a goal before the half here. Then it makes the conversation a little bit easier for Tata Martino.
And it felt like in the early years it was just a little mismatched, right? And Chris Henderson's done a really good job coming in and finding the right mix of players around this Miami team.
And let's not forget, there's a youngster coming in Federico Redondo. And if anyone knows...
How young is he? He played against his dad. 21 years old.
Seems like a swipe at me, but anyway... and a good one too, by the way. Yeah, the reports are that he plays very similar to his dad. He is right-footed, which is a little bit different. His dad had one of the sweetest left-footed dribbles and passes you've ever seen. So he's another piece to the puzzle, and he comes in as an injury replacement because of the ACL to Farias.
That was in a preseason friendly against El Salvador.
But what it shows me is that Chris Henderson and the sporting staff, they're ready for everything. They have an answer for everything right now.
There was so much talk about whether or not they'd be able to swing beneath the salary cap at the outset as well, and they've done that. And look at this. Messi, Suarez rounds the keeper. Suarez, the first hat trick. And the 100th joint goal contribution will have to wait. It is offside. It looked like Messi to Suarez again.
Well, this was close at first look, at live look here. Suarez doesn't think. Messi's saying, get back to midfield. He already knows. He thinks this one's not offside here. There's Messi. He sees Janssen. It's tough to tell definitively from that angle, but you can tell how close it is. Janssen is the one that keeps him on, and it's just too easy here. Looks like they did rule it offside. Boy, that was close. They didn't have a perfect angle, but that was close. You kind of look at those lines on the field from the grass cuts to help you out.
Right. I just imagine you with a protractor and a ruler.
Wrong guy. Wrong guy. You're not working with that guy today. I love the free-flowing football here. But again, it's you think Orlando's got the ball, they got you pinned back, and one or two passes to get out of pressure, and all of a sudden the game kind of just spreads open, and everything there seems to be so much space.
It really is symphonic at its best, isn't it? 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Orlando finally got the rub of the green. Saw a free kick bang off the post from Messi as well. Goal correctly deemed offside. This overruns everybody. A goal kick for Inter Miami. By the way, speaking of great goals, we'll show you the AT&T goal of the match day from last week. If you were here pregame, it's going to be a repeat, but I promise it's worth it. It's coming up at halftime here on Fox.
Suarez stating his case here.
Well, certainly this is as good as he's looked with Inter Miami.
No question about it.
Lowe takes a shot here. Cartagena's on a yellow card.
Yeah, Suarez was stating his case to the referee here, and it was close. That's the ball off the foot. It is so hard to tell from that angle. So hard to tell. Rafael's not keeping him out. It's Janssen there.
Yeah, 6 in the higher end of the screen. Yeah.
Either way, it was ruled offside.
It's about the only thing that really hasn't gone Miami's way to this point. Oh, the whistle's gone again. Suarez runs amok.
Tell me Suarez doesn't want to compete. Look at him. He's arguing about every call, every play.
Halftime arrives in Fort Lauderdale. Wow.
For Oscar Pereira right now, you got some work to do here. One thing you can't do is come out and be nearly as stretched as you were in this first half. If you're Tata Martino, it's about as good as this team's played here throughout preseason and the matches that we saw. And in the first 2 matches, they're kind of restraining Luis Suarez right now from going after the assistant referee. They've got to get him off the field. Busquets will have the right words to say to him.
Well, you would have thought Suarez would have no beef at the end of this first half. Scores 2 goals. Inter Miami. What a Miami in position here to take all 3 points because Luis Suarez is on a goal-scoring binge today.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the pocket of space in the area that he finds it. Gallese doesn't even think the ball's going to go to him. Watch Gallese in goal. He's going to his right. This is the second goal here. Good through ball played in by Gressel. Had an outstanding first half with the 3 assists total. One of those being a second assist. But again, talk about 1 goal scorer on one side. You saw there Luis Muriel, who's coming in now for Duncan McGuire, only had 6 touches in that first half.
Inter Miami, 18 unbeaten in MLS, dating back to October of 2021 when leading at the half. 16 wins and a pair of draws. Muriel makes his MLS debut, replaces McGuire at the half. On to the second half we go. Orlando just trying to nick one here early and make a game of it. Ladero comes in as well, replaces Wilder Cartagena, who was on a yellow card in that first half. So a pair of changes here for Orlando to try and shuffle the deck. and two really enormous pieces for what Orlando's trying to do this year, which everyone's been pretty frank about, win trophies.
Yeah, and keep in mind here now, Muriel's here to score goals. Lodero's here to create goals. And what we saw against CF Montreal was him, when substitutions were made, sit as a double pivot. And it looks like that's where he's going. Look how deep he is, kind of right in that pocket next to the referee. Nico Lodero wearing the number 14 jersey. We normally see him and have seen him for years higher up the field. So this is a little wrinkle that Oscar Perez obviously worked on. He used it in their first match day. He's using it here again. I think you want to get a little bit more possession deeper and have him look up the field. Here he is on the ball, but in those areas, if you pressure him in the right way, it's hard to turn forward.
Thorhaldsen. Away from Muriel. Oscar Pareja said this week that 70-minute or so debut in Champions Cup, you can see the quality that he brings. Return here. Ojeda. Just the start Orlando needed out of halftime. But the flag is up. It's offside. And it's not to be for Orlando City, at least not yet.
This is good interchange play here. Ojeda finally gets forward. There's Angulo with the run. There's Ojeda. Yeah, looks like he is offside here. Does check back. I think the assistant referee gets this one right. It's been confirmed.
2 goals deemed offside in this game, and by real slim margins, but one each way. Suarez denied his hat trick in the final 10 minutes of the first half. And now Ojeda right out of the gate in the second. Suarez, poked down by Muriel, comes on to Facundo Torres. Torres extending down the line. Off by Gomez. Good step, Thorhaldsen. That's a short-lived respite. Frede. Gomez. Bit of inadvertent pressure for Aviles, who coughs it up.
I think if you're Orlando City, you want to get yourself back into this one. They think they have a goal, but it's going to have to come off a press here. They are going a little bit higher. If you're Inter Miami, you got to be sharp with the ball, building out of the back, and then the game will open up here.
Leo Messi turning away from Araujo. And there comes the pressure from Muriel. Calendar. Johnson closed it down before Gressel. Ulo. Lodero. Sought the return from the end line. Cooked for Ojeda. Recycles for Orlando. Muriel. Lodero picked up by Miami. Advantage play. Gomez. Struck off the foot of Messi.
That's some tackle here. Gomez, yeah, he went in 2 feet here. Ball gets away from him just a little bit. As the ball squirts away. Ooh, trying to make a play on it. Here's that initial goal we thought we had, but clearly you can see from the lines in the cut on the grass that Angulo comes from an offside position.
Hello goes to Gomez. Angulo circulates into the width. Hung across, header back through. Thorhaldsen getting forward. Still it's on for Lodeiro. Ricocheted off of Torres. Angulo. Torres. Ball deflects through. Looks like Callender had a good beat on it. Still now. Ojeda. Thorhaldsen. Lodeiro. Scooped out by Miami. Suarez. Gomez. Came off last game against LA. Exhaustion.
There's a different energy here from Orlando City with this higher press. You're not sitting back. Take their breather right now and find a spot that they want to press and get after the ball.
And maybe in July you can't press nearly as much as you can right now. I know the legs from Champions Cup might be a tad heavy, but it's not 100 degrees out.
Yeah, you normally look at that around 70 minutes, right, and how the team reacts to a midweek game. But in this case, you would have thought because it's a derby match and it is Inter Miami and you want to make a statement that you can fight through that. You take a couple punches in that first half and it makes it even more difficult.
Yedlin works off Messi. Approaches Angulo, swings the cross, picked up by Taylor. Taylor returns. Messi the target. Trying to bypass Busquets, down to Gressel.
See a couple of players with their arms going up in the air, including Jordi Alba, Luis Suarez wanting Gressel just to play a little touch and go at the top of the box that they're so used to.
Gomez begins the attack again. Jordi Alba. Skips beneath Taylor. Messi. Messi!
And this comes off a simple play here with Rafael Santos just trying to dribble out of the back. He does have some options and the ball gets turned over. Busquets just stepping in and ends up at the feet of Lionel Messi and he just shoots this one wide, but just far too easy to turn the ball over here for Inter Miami to get on it. A bit of frustration there because that's a pretty good look for Messi. Had all time and all the space. You need another turnover here from Orlando City. Now you're back on your heels again.
Suarez, Gressel through now. Gressel off the underside of the bar. Gressel's been tremendous in this game, and his combination with Suarez has been scintillating.
Yeah, he's the guy that deserves a goal here in this match. He has been. Look at the space he takes up. He's in a pocket of like 4 players. No one around him. He continues his run. Ron Angulo doesn't stay with him and just hits the crossbar pretty cleanly.
Santos got by Angulo. Sergio Busquets. Clever start from Torres. I'll bring this back. This is a pleading case for Sergio Busquets.
I think Sergio Busquets gets to the ball here first. Steps in front of Ojeda there.
Busquets was involved in the foul that led to a red card against LA last week. Perhaps lack thereof. It was rescinded. Ball ahead from Messi. Karam's into the width. Taylor continues. Ball smashed right at Galese.
There's going to be games where, like the opening night, Julian Gressel's going to have to do a lot of running in the midfield. Mike, there's also going to be games where Julian Gressel has an awful lot of fun in this midfield. And today is one of those days, man, because every time the ball turns over, he is finding acres of space to run into. And, of course, the concentration and the focus is on Messi, is on Suarez, it's on Busquets when he comes forward. He's going to be able to, if he picks his moments, have a lot of good looks at goal.
Muriel, this grab by Miami. You know, I asked Tata Martino this week the difference between the Gressel that was drafted out of Providence to Atlanta that he first coached, what he sees now. Jordi Alba working off Suarez. Jordi Alba!
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
Didn't get over Messi.
Oh, no.
Messi lets it leak over the line. Total chaos in front of goal, and Miami's got their fourth. And the party is on in Miami.
There was a glimmer of hope a few minutes into this second half, but that has just gone away. Jordi Alba, this is far too easy. Just continues his run. Araujo chasing him again. Janssen tries to clear the ball. All he can do is clear it off. It looked like it hit both the post and the crossbar, and Messi doesn't hit it first time. He takes it down with his chest and doesn't even have to hit it again. And he's got Schlegel on his back, but he realizes it's going in. Lionel Messi gets himself his second goal of the season. Everybody's doing flybys as this ball's coming down. The man's thought process is on a different planet, Mike.
You know, Messi has scored some otherworldly goals, and that's probably as simple as it's ever going to be for Messi in the 57th.
Well, I told you the one thing you didn't want this team to start having fun, and right now
that smile says they're having fun.
Messi's having fun, and this team is having fun. Gulo to the bench.
Enrique came on for Angulo at the stop, and Enrique finding his way right into the mix, dragging and pushing, circulated out. That's over Thorhaldsen. Well, get ready for a lot of this year. I mean, Inter Miami's got the talent where there's going to be moments where they just look unstoppable, and then you have Orlando giving the ball away in a couple really precarious spots. All of a sudden, this starts to get a bit out of hand. That's a substantial challenge on Schlegel. Kyle Smith came on for Santos at the stop as well.
I think a lot of people took a lot out of that first match against RSL. Get to the second half, be able to compete, start to run through the midfield. They'll erase those memories and those thoughts here, Mike, because the way this Inter Miami side has played today, it's been far too easy. So if that was your plan, you're going to have to draw something up a little bit different.
Ojeda, Calendar. Options still percolating. Ojeda drops it down. Sunder from Miami. Alba's had some stunning moments today as well. Here's the save from Calendar.
Yeah, this is a tough one from Calendar because you got to let it go through traffic, and Schlegel looked like it was at a height that he could get to it. Have a better look here, and you can see he does actually get a little piece of it. So good job by Calendar here. Just staying focused, not being distracted by that deflection. You know, Mike, sometimes it's difficult as a goalkeeper when you don't have a lot to do. You feel like you're out of the game, and then a moment like that comes, you have to be sharp. Calendar certainly was.
Enrique Muriel, Kyle Smith. Smith, the dangerous looking ball, the calendar plucks. Calendar will have some of those games this year. 2022 goalkeeper of the year finalist, best goalkeeper in the League's Cup last year. Homegrown player whose rights they acquired from San Jose. He's a Sacramento native. Suarez with a full head of steam, picks his head up, he has options, he sets up Messi! Lionel Messi scores his second. This far more glorious than the first. A Miami runaway.
Mike, I'm not sure if I said it, but you don't want this Inter Miami team to start having fun, and they are having a blast right now. Luis Suarez once again becomes provider, looks up, has it on his left peg, a little chip to the back post, and Lionel Messi still a lot to do in this one. He realizes Galese is going one way. His momentum going to his left, he can't stop. He puts it back across the goal. They always say headed back from where it came from. So now Lionel Messi with 2 goals. Luis Suarez 2 goals, 2 assists.
And just how Messi drew it up, that's one off his head and one off his chest, right? Hasn't even needed to use his feet tonight. Well, we've seen the occasional rivalry match go wrong, right? The Red Bull NYCFC game a number of years ago in Yankee Stadium.
Was that one?
I think so. And Miami is doing something really special. Messi's already responding to what was a raucous ovation. This is, in so many ways, spectacular, watching Messi play in MLS.
Well, a couple of weeks ago I said that I thought if this team could stay healthy, that they would be MLS Cup champions. And I got a little bit of stick for that. And I can completely understand. I just think, because everyone wants to define healthy, I think Luis Suarez has to stay healthy. He has to be involved in 75–80% of these matches. He's going to get rest throughout the season. But do you want to play this team in a one-off?
No.
That's my question. Do you? And that was my point when I said if they're healthy and they're clicking at that time of the year, this is as dangerous as they get.
Yedlin put under pressure. Otero puts it through. He may get a second look at it. Ojeda's down. Referee will bring it back. And it belongs to Miami. Wasn't that the big story at the end of last season, right? If Inter Miami could just get into the MLS Cup playoffs somehow.
Right.
Then who knows how this whole thing ends. And ultimately, Columbus, a hugely deserving champion, no doubt. But we never really got to see the whole thing come together at the end once Lionel Messi got hurt at the tail end of the season. The results started to suffer. Certainly they went through a lot in the mid-summer months.
Yeah, they put a lot into Leagues Cup, obviously. They put a lot into the U.S. Open Cup. I'd expect at some point in this match here, we've got about 25 minutes or so, plus some stoppage time. We're going to see a couple of curtain calls here with substitutions, because it's that kind of night. Now, from Oscar Pereira's side, there's moments as a manager and there's moments as a player where you go, okay, let's just throw that tape out, right? Let's just forget about what happened here.
Are we there?
I'm not sure, though, if he can, based on some of the mistakes that they've made.
Flag's down for now. Suarez pushes it ahead. The flag was always going to go up, though.
And he was looking for Messi making that run that with the outside of the foot, just mishit it. But I don't know that Oscar Pereira can just throw this tape out, because this is an early season big moment, right? You don't score in the opener. So far, you don't have a goal here. It's a team that likes to get forward. You bring Nico Lodeiro in, who's, again, playing a little bit deeper. You think it's going to help you in the attacking part of the field. They really haven't. I'm trying to think of compelling chances that they've had today in this match. And I don't remember, Mike, any real compelling chances to score goals. Of course, they had the one that was called offside coming out of the dressing room. So they've got some work to do to get back to where we saw them last year.
Harrell, Champions Cup winner with Seattle 2022. What didn't he win with the Sounders? Came in here and started talking about 4 trophies. He was trying to convince Luis Muriel to take part. Head for Enrique. That outpaced him, however. And when does Miami start to make changes here? And play Thursday against Nashville. The changes begin right now. Ruiz, the young 20-year-old Miami native who's already featured with the Honduran senior national team, replaces Gressel, who was outstanding today. And Luis Suarez, 2 goals, 2 assists. Campana on in his stead. His first 2 goals for Inter Miami.
Yeah, it started early here. He gets a good ball played in by Julian Gressel, and that's a really difficult finish. Not for Luis Suarez, then he gets his opportunity on his left foot. Ball bounces around. He continues his run. He buries this one. And we'll see more of that throughout the season. Luis Suarez gets his goal-scoring campaign off in match day 3 for Inter Miami at home with style. But we talked about Leo Campana and how important he is to this roster. We've seen Ruiz in all the matches. We saw him all through preseason. He started in quite a few of those matches. But I think Campana is a really important piece to the puzzle. And now you're talking about giving Suarez off 25 minutes left in this match, which is massive because, Mike, so many of those injuries occur in the last 10, 15 minutes when your body's really extended. Suarez getting a much-deserved break after 2 goals and 2 assists on the night.
And 2 goals in his first dozen touches. Could have had a hat trick. Was, we think, correctly offside. He didn't seem to agree right before the half. Gressel deserves the applause that comes with 5.2 miles run, most of any player on the field. Jordi Alba. Gomez.
He mentioned the touches for Luis Suarez. It's not going to take a lot of touches for him to be effective.
Right.
And I don't think they expect him to have a lot of touches, right? Touches are going to come with Busquets and some of the deeper players. Of course, Lionel Messi, because he dribbles. Jordi Alba will get involved. But I don't think they need Luis Suarez to have, 30 touches in a match.
All we know for sure, tonight he had the 2 he needed. The opening 2 goals of the game for Miami came in the opening 11 minutes. They've tacked on a pair here in the second half, both from Leo Messi.
Because of the attacking performance that we've seen from Inter Miami, we really haven't gotten into the loan deal for Nicolas Ferreira, right? How important he's going to be. You bring in an experienced center back, which they were dying for. This guy's played in Argentina. He's played in Brazil. He's played in the Netherlands. He's played in Mexico. He's played in Greece. And he's been a really big pickup. Not spoken about all that much yet. Playing his first game tonight, he's on the ball here, but this is a guy that's not going to be in awe of any situation that he's thrown into. So again, another piece to the puzzle that Chris Henderson brings in Ferreira.
Always really appreciated what he did with Pumas over the years.
Yeah, and again, you bring a guy in that none of these situations are going to throw him off.
No.
Doesn't matter what stadium you put him in. Doesn't matter what match you put him in. That's the kind of guy they needed, just a steadying force in the back.
Enrique. This is good for Orlando. Leans ahead. Ojeda back, and Calendar right on time.
It's a good read here by Calendar. He cheats a little bit at that near post. Understands when it gets to the byline, the only place it could go is get pulled back. It's good movement up front. pulls it back and gets underneath. A bunch of legs swinging around in front of him. Clean play by Drake Callender.
By the way, do you like the debut patch that MLS debutants wear now?
I like that, and I'm glad you brought this up, because I was thinking for years goalkeeper jerseys were getting too boring for me. There's a little bit of style in these goalkeeper jerseys this year. I'm really happy about that.
Have you seen the Orlando 3 Lions, the throwbacks?
Yeah.
Those are really special, aren't they?
But back to your debut patch, I think it's a pretty cool concept.
There's something there for Orlando. Ahead toward Torres. Ernie Alba. Wells. Good marker in time, right? For some, it might be a marginally more forgettable debut on this occasion.
No, but it's always special, your debut moment. Well, you're starting to hear Ole's ring out here in Chase Stadium.
To Gomez. That was the dream. Some would argue the expectation on that rainy night. A stage assembled on this very field. The fireworks and the pomp and the circumstance. Miami faithful. Such an early stage in this club's history. Getting a marquee victory. Ojeda off. Felipe will come for Orlando. Try and settle midfield.
So, Mike, this will be a little tactical change here from Oscar Pereira. We saw this on match day 1 against CF Montreal. Felipe Martins will play a little bit deeper, allow Lodedo to get a little higher up the field in that typical number 10 position he's more used to playing.
Muriel. Slaloms ahead, the return from Felipe. Thorhaldsen reclaims for Orlando City.
You are seeing flashes of Muriel when he gets on the ball in his movement.
He's shown to be a little more mobile, right?
Yeah, he's not nearly as direct as McGuire is. Two different forwards. I think the challenge for Oscar Pereira is at some point, can you get him on the field at the same time and ask him to do two different things? Looks like a handball here. Lodedo's going to get a free kick, an opportunity to dump it in the box.
By the way, what a game that's going to be tomorrow. Iowa and Ohio State. Caitlin Clark.
Is she getting ready to break the all-time NCAA
That's
record?
in the rear view.
In the women's game, she can break the all-time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the men's side as well. Good for her. Good player.
What a player. Ball whipped in. First ball's away, Fredette. And now maybe Miami can break. There's Ruiz, grew up in Little Havana in Miami. Overcooked that for Campana.
Someone that Tata Martino has faith in. We talked about during preseason, we saw him every single match. He's come in now as a substitute in each match here. He's done a really good job. He's played both on the right, played on the left. Covers some ground. He's going to be asked to do a lot of the dirty work in that midfield. They don't have the ball.
Forward from Felipe, and Orlando are through. Save from Callender to deny Ramiro Enrique.
And it's moments like this when things break down in the midfield and the team's running out, Drake Callender really sharp here. That's a good ball played into space. Enrique with a good look at goal here. Drake Callender down to his left. Push this one wide. It makes it even more difficult that it bounces about a yard in front of him. It's that big paw out. Pushes it away. That's a big-time save from Drake Callender.
His third year starting for Inter Miami. 26-year-old came out of Cal. Miami's only made 2 changes to this point. Tata Martino is going to have to contemplate how to put this jigsaw puzzle together in the next few weeks. You'd argue it's the job anyone would want in theory. Mota. And there's Krivtsov. Aviles sits up.
Like there's something about the 20-year-old Aviles down with a cramp and the 36-year-old Lionel Messi over him with a smile on his face. I don't know what it is. It looks to be okay. Stuff will come in, take his position. I think Aviles' best performance of the season so far.
Al Smith comes up there. You know, last year it was all the rage in the NWSL, the hot shot.
Yeah, they didn't seem to like that too much, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't like it at all. Krivtsov comes on here. We'll see out the final 15 or so minutes. Miami controls. See Montreal next, then they'll go to DC United within the league. They've got the critical round of 16 games in the Champions Cup to deal with. Torres a bit banged up. Here comes Mota. And Noah Allen come on as well. So Gomez comes off. And Allen places Frede. That's an LCL injury, really hampered him last year. Had surgery on that after the injury cropped up in April. And Noah Allen, who signed a homegrown deal 2 years ago, got 14 starts last season out of nearby Pembroke Pines.
2 years ago in that opener, he wasn't scheduled to be on the roster, and they had some illness. They were playing the Chicago Fire opening night. I was there, and they called him basically from USL training, and he played as a left back. I was really, really impressed. He's now being used as a center back here for some depth pieces. Not the tallest of center backs. He can chase you down, reads the game fairly well, still learning the game. 18-year-old homegrown player. Pretty big moment.
Listed 5'9". So the 6'1" Krivtsov in the back.
Mota comes in here. All about possession, keeping the ball, good passer, move around the midfield, be an option, not afraid to be in tight spaces.
Messi, 2 goals in this half. Really securing the rate of this game. Mota Swings back, seeking Messi. Could get his first hat trick with Miami today with a third.
Busquets and Messi going to go 90 minutes again.
Yeah. All 5 subs already in for Miami. And Tata Martino made it out to be, we can't have Messi be exhausted because he's the one creating everything. We'd like to see him on the end of some things where he gets the finishing touch and doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting. Trying to lift that through for Taylor.
How many times have we seen him chase players around tonight and win the ball and get into tackles, and not really hard tackles, but poking things away, and he's really been involved on both sides of the ball. Does take his rest when needed, but of course he's been finding space like that. There's that story about talking to the academy player last year, and the advice he was given was walk a little bit more in the game. Find space. Don't run from areas where you're open into areas where you're not open anymore. If you're open, you're open. Tata Martino, he's done a good job of really kind of turning the momentum around, if you will, Mike, from the preseason, because it was not a very productive preseason from a results standpoint. And we don't look at results in preseason, but they didn't play all that well. And they've turned on the light switch tonight. And I think it's one of those sort of aha moments, right, with Inter Miami again, where you're like, oh, so this is what they can do. Right? Especially when you give the ball away to a team as talented as this.
Ahead, Janssen will retrieve again. So it's going here. Janssen taken out. That's a quick yellow card. Goes to Campana.
On here trying to do some defensive work, break up the play, and a little bit late, slides into Janssen.
Whistle's going here against Allen, who is aggressive, stepping off the back line.
See a lot of matches where a team takes off their 2 center backs. Tata Martino's been able to do this. Of course, Christoph has the experience of being here last year. Noah Allen's still learning this position, typically a left back. So this is a good opportunity to get guys some minutes together, get this pairing together.
Thorhaldsen navigates, angles through Janssen. Out to Taylor. There is a ton of acreage out here. Taylor drops to Messi. Ruiz.
He was trying to clip that one into Campana when he cut inside.
Hard to argue with that on this day.
Yeah, it's been a good day for Inter Miami. I think the only thing left here is just to preserve this shutout for Drake Callender and their side. That'll be equally as important moving down the line here, that they can shut teams out. We know they're going to be able to score goals. We know they're going to go and attack. And on their night, they're going to be as good as anybody. The question marks has been, can they keep teams from scoring?
They've seen Orlando here now 6 previous occasions and never got the clean sheet. And this is a group that allowed 163 goals over 102 regular season games the last 3 years. You might think there were a bunch in one given season. They were all between 53 and 57. Taylor Bouncing ball settled by Messi. Campana, back heel, never got to Messi again. And Muriel gets twisted to the ground by Allen. You and I were talking a little bit about Brecalo pregame and how the Orlando center back had shown a little bit of aggression. Allen's not exactly resting on his laurels back there.
And still learning that position.
Yeah.
As an outside back, when there's a forward in front of you, you're not afraid to go press.
Smith will go right at the back of Allen.
Struggle here from Allen to clear this one. As a center back, sometimes you don't step into the midfield like that nearly as high, but those are things that he'll learn as he continues to get minutes at that left center back position.
Header snapped on. Appeal for a handball comes from Schlegel. It'll merely be another corner. They heard he was a pro. He had a lot of options. But seeing it in person, everyone in awe of what Nico Ladero brings to that group. This is going here as we leak into the final 3 minutes before stoppage time. Good explanation.
Looked like he was calling a push there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder what's going through Tata Martino's head and how he'll address this. And it could be one of those things where you're like, okay, this is us. You know, this is what we can do. Not say too much.
Halton and Janssen, you really think highly of, especially what he did last year. You were,
yeah, I actually voted for him, Mike, for Defender of the Year. He was my top pick, and I got to see him, so that probably helped the cause a little bit in my eyes. And he was outstanding in the 6 or 7 games that we did.
Enrique, that's out of the reach of Muriel.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for this back four of Orlando City.
Luis Suarez, 2 goals right off the bat, couple of assists. Special night. Gillespie. And that man, as advertised.
I'm trying to think about Oscar Pereira's work here, and I think the one thing would probably be to some point lift the morale of this group. Obviously, you're looking for results in all matches. This team has high expectations this year of where they want to be. So he's going to have a little work to do on the mental side of things for this group and how he addresses tonight.
Does it help to see Tigres midweek off this, the team that eliminated you from Champions Cup last year?
It depends on how things go, right? Against Tigres, it's not like you're playing a slouch.
And I mean, Orlando was right there with the team of the decade in Mexico.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, you come off a season like they did and you think, okay, we're just going to pick up where we left off, and things don't click early on and you lose a little bit of confidence. Hopefully that's not the case for Oscar Pereira's side. Remember, he had a weird offseason.
Turned over to Messi. Messi goes down, and a chance for a genuine exclamation point. Fouled at the edge of the penalty area at the commencement of 1 minute of added time. And if he's to get a hat trick, it'll probably be on the last kick of the game.
Again, this comes off another turnover here. There's a hand to the face. And I don't think he's swinging his arm. It's his regular running motion, but he does catch Messi like on the left side of the forehead. If I'm a center back or an outside, I'm not even running forward here. Why run forward? There's only one thing happening here, right? Is there any surprise? I mean, it would be a surprise to everyone if this isn't a shot on goal or a shot at goal.
Well, Messi at the end. One last shot to cap off a remarkable day at Shea Stadium. Messi.
You're all kind of just running forward, right? Just in case he scores so you can be close to him.
Sure.
Right? You'd be in the picture, I guess. But there was nothing else happening than him having a shot on goal. He's not going to be happy with it, but won't make much of a difference tonight.
Matter of seconds.
After Miami's put a marker down tonight here in Florida.
Maybe we're not done yet. Messi. Campana. He's trying to find it. Campana leaves it off. Ball rolled through. Busquets for Messi. And here's a corner. You know, there was an article in The Athletic this week that essentially made Messi's lack of an Olympico in his career out to be the one-armed man. The one thing that he hadn't done.
Wow.
And went through the number of tries he had at that measure of Olympico glory.
Do you think anyone's told him about that? You think he knows? There's no way.
He has so many, I think Galese knows. Messi. Kyle Smith. Go for Messi. And that's it. Inter Miami with a stunner of a performance against their Central Floridian rival. 5-0 Inter Miami over Orlando City. And the heat will be on when these teams meet again on May the 15th up in Orlando. A clean sheet at home against Orlando. That's a first for Miami. Messi, 2 goals. 2 goals for Luis Suarez. Julian Gressel, couple of assists early in this game, and Robert Taylor tallies as well. That was excellent from Miami.
It really was. I mean, this is one of those nights where you look at what this team can do, what their expectations are, and it doesn't always match up what your expectations are and what the performance looks like, but tonight it absolutely did. For Lionel Messi, Tata Martino, and the rest of this crew, this result will resonate. Not everyone, not all the players in the league would have seen this match because they're preparing for a long night of matches tonight, but they'll look at this and they'll know it was something special.
Well, you've never seen MLS like this. Luis Suarez in the 4th and the 11th. Suddenly it was a party atmosphere. Messi close once, but delivers twice. Miami 5, Orlando 0. Back in a